Welcome to Doc's Daily Dose for Dads, prescribed by Dr. Harrison. Today I want to talk a little bit about history. No, I'm not talking Civil War, I'm not talking the first president, I'm talking about your history. Now, again, not family tree, not family history. We'll get to that at another day. But your personal history, your story, we all have one. You need to share that with your kids. You don't have to tell them all at once. And naturally, you're going to tell stories over time and they're going to come out, but be deliberate about it. Make sure that you are sharing your story. We can get so caught up in everything that's happening and we can have our own moments of nostalgia and remember things from our past, but just keep it all to ourselves and sit there on the couch and smile or cry or grimace. But we need to share those things with our kids. And you can share them over time and share the stories based on what's age appropriate. You know, another thing you can do is take them to old places that have meaning to you, whether that be an old skating rink that you used to go to, if it's even still around, right? If you live in the same city that you grew up in, there's no excuse. Take them to the old home that you used to live in. You know, I've grown up in Pasadena all my life, and the only time I left was for good old Grinnell. And quite frankly, I wasn't planning on coming back to Pasadena until I injured my knee and I needed help rehabbing and walking. But now that I'm back, I will take a bike ride with my kids and I'll show them the first house I ever knew growing up in, the second house we moved into in middle school, and my parents still live in the house that I grew up in high school, so they're familiar with that as well. As we're riding around and we pass things, I tell them stories about the time I pushed my sister at the bus stop and she happened to hit her head on the gravel and it cut her open. I was in elementary. I was being a big jerk of an older brother. Or the time that I was riding a brand new bike and I thought the brakes were, back pedal, but I did that, but the brakes were handlebars and I slipped and hit a curb and flew over the front of the handlebars into a fence and knocked my tooth out. That fence is still there, right? I share those stories with my kids. It gives them a sense of who you are, where you're from, and what you've done, what you've accomplished, all that you've done growing up. It gives them a better understanding of you. It's history in context, the context being your history. It also gives them history in context of the environment in which they live. We monitor some of the things the kids watch with respect to sex and violence and drugs and alcohol. But Avrin, he's 8, about to turn 9 on Monday. And so, he's getting older and starting to understand things more and be able to have conversation. And a documentary came on about the LA riots, Rodney King, Reginald Denny. And so he got to watch that. And my wife paused it at certain parts where he had questions and answered his question to put things in historical context of where he's currently living. What happened in this environment to bring it to where it is today? It also allows them to ask questions about you, ask questions about where you're from, ask questions about the things you did to see how similar and how different they are from you. And to know a little bit about what your life was about before them. Otherwise, they don't really think you had a life before them. Or they think that you do, but they have no understanding of what that life was like. They just don't get it. So, share your history with your kids. Not just for the moments of teaching, but also because it's their history too. All right, that's Doc's Daily Dose for Dads. Don't forget to hashtag Doc's Daily Dose for Dads, hashtag 4D. Check out all social media at rebirthbx. Hit the website, rebirthbx.com. Apple Podcasts, Google Play Music. As you can see, I've gone back to the evening post. The morning was fine for me getting up, but it seems that it kind of got lost in the shuffle of all the other stuff being posted on social media. So people weren't viewing it as much as they were the nighttime. So I'm back to the nights. So that's what you want. That's what I'm going to give you. All right, you guys. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. And I got a special guest coming in tomorrow. You already know it. The third kid. The last one, the youngest. See you then.